Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the People's Choice Podcast. And I'm here with a very special guest. If you guys have been rocking with me and seen our episode 8 months ago, I'm really actually happy and honored to bring him back on the show. But this time, we're not going to be chatting about different podcasts. This time is strictly about music. And that's right. I got my boy Zach here, or should I call you ZD in the list now? I should have mentioned that when we first.
All good, man. Yep. I with music, I do go by Zachary Daniels, which is what the ZD stands for in the project.
Awesome.
But you can call me Zach. You know, I consider you a friend. We're good.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
you can call me Zach.
Awesome. So for all my peeps, it's not friends. It's ZD now. But I get to call Zach now. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Let me give the clap. Zach, welcome back to the show.
When they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Thank you.
Man, it's so good to see you, man. How you been?
I've been pretty good, actually. Yeah, like I said, it's been, geez, I can't believe it's been 8 months since I've been on the show. But, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing pretty good now. It's been a little bit of ups and downs, but I know the last time I was on here, I was talking about the record button and the podcasting I was doing, and fortunately, I'm not doing that anymore. The record button's still a thing. The shows are still active. If you listen to that episode, still go listen to those shows. My former partner is still doing all that stuff, but no, I'm just, I had to follow my heart and do what speaks to me, and I'm back on my music. I'm back on my bullshit, as they say.
Getting back on my bullshit. I love that, man. And that's one big thing for me. Just even starting this podcast way back, almost 2 years coming up in September. And it was my passion, and it was something that I dabbled with early on, and then like just was letting the voices in the head, and life happens and stuff, get a good job, and just focus on that. But now I'm like, you know what, I'm glad I took that time. Really, COVID was such a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it made me value and appreciate life more, and knowing that, hey, it can end like that. So let me go for my passion. And behold, the People's Choice Podcast is here.
Yeah,
nice. And I got to meet awesome people like you and many others.
So that's awesome, dude. Congratulations on the upcoming anniversary. That's sweet.
Thank you. Yep, September 26th. And I have a huge announcement for all my peeps about that. So, make sure you guys stay tuned in. So let's get started, Zach. Let's dive in on your music career. So how long have you been making music for?
So I have been making music like on a serious level on and off for about, geez, how long has it been? I started in like 2011.
Such a good year. Shout out to 2011.
Yeah, right.
I was playing football at that time, trying to make the varsity team.
That was my first year in college, and I finally found other people that like wanted to seriously try to make music, and so that was like my first. Like I had been in like quote unquote bands in high school, but like nobody was really serious about it. So it was like, all right, cool. Like we're just kind of jamming out, having fun. But otherwise, my first like actual band that I tried to do stuff with was in like 2011. So let's see, it's 2022. So yeah, like 11 years. And I think, yeah, 11 years. I can do math. Public school hasn't quite failed me.
Shout out to the public schools for not failing us completely.
But yeah, it's been a little bit of an on and off again kind of thing, but I've had like 4 or 5 different bands in that time. And it's been a ride, man. It's multiple different genres. It's been a ride.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because when we last talked 8 months ago, like I didn't even like know you were doing music. I knew you was producing and he's doing the things with the shows.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, when I seen your post about like, your music, and then you were talking, in Messenger, and I was listening to your songs, I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, Zach, you're really good at this, man. Like, how? That's all going to go into my next question. Like, was this always a dream of yours, or was it something you found interesting or interested in later on in life?
It's a little bit of both, believe it or not. So when I was little, I'd always wanted to be a singer because a lot of my family are singers. Like I grew up around in a fairly musical family. And so like, I was just just a little guy, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a singer when I grow up. And of course, when little kids, just like that was kind of my equivalency of like, it's like I want to be a superhero or whatever. And
Still
so
want to be
like,
Spider-Man.
yeah, hey, everybody gets one, man.
All right.
But but yeah, so like I wasn't like I wanted to do that, but at the same time it was just like, yeah, I just like to sing, cool, whatever. And but then when I hit high school and I actually started writing, like actually trying to write songs, that's when it over time it hit me that it's like I could actually be halfway decent at this. And that's when I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just try to pursue this. Like even if nothing happened, like even if nothing really happens of it, at least I can make my friends happy, like
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's and it it's and that was yeah, it's been like I graduated in '09, and then it's been history ever since. So
Awesome, man. And shout out to you, man. And big applause to you for, at least, giving it a try. Like say, hey, man, I might make my friends happy, or hey, at least it's something, if and that's the other thing too, like even talking about me a little bit for the podcast. Like I
yeah,
didn't want to be on my deathbed and just thinking like, man, I really wanted to try that podcasting thing. Or, for you, like I really wanted to try music, but I didn't, and the fact that we're like, screw that, we're doing it,
yeah,
big applause to us, man. So let me get a clap for both of us. So Zach, who are some of your influences and models in the music industry?
So pardon me. So when I was growing up, I was I got a taste of a little bit of everything growing up. As of late, a lot of so like when it comes to like my music, I grab a little bit of like quite literally everything. But I tend to focus a lot on groups from like the 90s to 2000s, like pop rock. So like Gavin DeGraw, Maroon 5. But I also like bands. I also kind of really appreciate bands like Fall Out Boy, especially their older stuff. I still like them now, but I like their older stuff better, and like Panic at the Disco and stuff like that. Particularly their vocal work. I focus a lot in there. But I've had a lot of people tell me that my music sounds like it could have come out of the 90s, which is a big compliment to me, because I'm like, cool, because that's kind of where I'm focusing. So good to know I'm doing my job right.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, like a lot of bands like that, a lot of artists kind of in that area are ones that I really appreciate. In a weird twist, Train is actually a little bit of one too. The like the Drops of Jupiter guy, but but not like it. I just really like his I focus a lot on like melodic style and vocal work, because I'm a singer songwriter at heart, and so that's where you really have to focus a lot with the songwriting, because it's just me and my guitar. So
that sounds like a song right there, just me and my
yeah,
guitar,
me and my guitar.
That's awesome, Zach.
Yeah.
And at what moment did you realize like you really wanted to pursue music? I know we kind of touched a little bit on it early on, saying from '09,
Yeah.
2011, but like where you're like, you know what, like where you had that epiphany moment, I should say, you know, where you're like, you know what, I'm going for this.
I would say there was a moment I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I had written my first song, and it wasn't great looking back, but at the time I was like, yeah, it's not bad. Like I like it. It was very simple, but I liked it. And I played it for we did a talent show. It was like a variety show because there wasn't any judges or anything like that. But we did like this talent show, variety show in school every year. And I was I had they like the music teachers always vetted all the acts, and to make sure nobody did anything ridiculous or inappropriate or whatever. And so I was like, I have this original song, I think it'd be cool to play. And they're like, all right, well, play it for me. And so I played it, and they're like, yeah, you need to play that song because that's actually a pretty good song. And I was like, okay, cool. So I played it, and it was just that moment being on stage, just with my guitar, that I'm like, I like this. This is fun. Like, this is really cool.
That's
Like
awesome.
I want to try to, I want to, and I, that's what I really kind of fell in love with. Um, Especially like live performance, but also just
Mm-hmm.
like being able to play my songs for people. Because I had quite a couple different people come up and tell me how much they liked the song. And I still remember one lady uh made told me that it made her, like, I reminded her of what was it, Neil Young.
Okay, awesome.
um and
Get
I'm
some
like, I
compliments.
didn't expect that, but I will take it. I like Neil Young. That's not an insult, so at
I'm,
least not to me. So
I'm throwing a Neil Young picture in this too. That's so cool, man. That is awesome. And another thing I like to ask I've had a lot of musicians on the show lately and
mhm.
different bands. So I like to ask them, what does music mean to them? So what does music mean to you, Zach?
um that is a little bit of a loaded question. I would say, I guess it means peace to me.
Yes.
It means peace, relief, a little bit of an escape. Because I know that like when, especially whether I'm writing a song or I'm just sitting around listening to music, it kind of gives me a moment to kind of forget my problems, forget my stress, and just kind of hang out in the moment. Um, and because like when I'm like very stressed out about something, or like or whatever, I like to I'll play some songs, either like my favorite songs from when I was a kid, or I'll play like some tranquil stuff to try to, reduce anxiety. Or even if I'm super happy, it helps to boost that. Like, I can play some music, and it like elevates my already happy mood and makes kind of fits in the moment. So, but I usually equate it to, more often I equate music to like to peace and um just like mental stability.
And that is one of the best answers I think I've literally have heard since asking that question quite often lately. That's probably the best answer I've ever gotten, man. Like that is awesome. And music is it's just one of those things, man, where it could just touch you in so many different ways. And for you to basically, dive into that, but overall peace like that, that hits
There's the old
home right there,
line.
man.
There's the old line that music makes you lose control. It's, for me, it's music makes me gain control.
Yeah. The first time I heard that line was in a Missy Elliott song.
Yep.
Music makes you lose control. Yeah,
Right. Yep. That's where I was grabbing it from. Yep.
Awesome, man. So, Zach, what can your fans, well, I don't know if you call your people fan. I call mine peeps, but
Yeah.
fans and the world can expect from your EP, Keep It a Secret, coming out in September 2nd, right?
Yep, September 2nd. And it's okay. This project is very new, so I don't have names for my fans yet. I will, if anybody's listening and wants to become part of my fan base, if you have a name, throw it at me. I'll be more than happy to take suggestions.
Yeah,
But
definitely. We call them the ZDs.
the CDs, yeah. The listers or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the listers. Yeah,
The listers. Yeah. Anyway, it's to be determined. But anyway, so but yeah, so I mentioned a little bit before. So a lot of people tend to tell me that like a lot of my songs have a tendency to sound a little 90s ish, and this EP is no exception. It's a little a lot of these songs are very upbeat, and there is a spectrum of like rockiness to them, because like the first song in general is like definitely pretty heavy, and as far as it's not like heavy metal or anything, but compared to the rest of the songs, it's more guitar driven. There's a lot of edge to it. There's grit to it. And but all the songs are generally pretty upbeat and happy. There's one song that or I shouldn't say necessarily happy. There are some songs that are very happy, but they're very upbeat and moving. That's what I'm meant to like. They're driven. But they all sound like it's alternative rock, but with a darker 90s like pop rock edge mixed into it.
Right up my alley.
Yeah. So yeah, like I grabbed a little bit of like little bits and pieces of everything kind of from that era, and smacked them together. And my and oh, what was I saying? But yeah, that's generally what I would describe it as, is just like alternative with because like it's a darker edge. There are some lighter, there's like one or two lighter songs in there, but a lot of them kind of have a little bit of a shadow thrown over top of it, if that makes sense.
Awesome. And out of all your songs on your EP, what song touches you or just means the most to you, and why?
So there's a track. It's actually that's a 6-song EP, and it's track number 5. It's called Questions, and in parentheses, Rose-Colored Glasses. And it's the one that speaks to me the most, especially as a songwriter, because one, I just really love how all the music turned out. I love all the songs, but I think this one probably speaks to me the most because lyrically it tells a story about not really knowing exactly what you're doing with your life. And kind of because like you think you know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden like your world kind of gets shattered because you realize that you don't want to do that. Like you realize like facts that it's like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. But now what do I do? Because I had everything focused on that. Like I put all my eggs in this basket. How do I recover? Like what questions am I like, why am I not asking these questions that I need to ask? And what's like, why is this why is this a problem? And like the funny thing is that when I originally started writing the song, I didn't plan on it being exactly like that. Like I just kind of, I have a tendency to kind of slap songs together with lyrics until it means something. I call it scrapbooking, because like I'll write little blurbs as like I'll be like walking around, and I'm like, oh, like I have an idea for like a line for a song, and then I'll like write it in my notes app in my phone, and then like later on I'll be like, okay, I'll sit down and I'm like, all right, I really need to write this song. So, and then I'll like look, I'm like, what blurbs can I bounce off of? And it's like, oh, I like that one. And then I'll just throw stuff together.
That is so dope, man. Like
yeah,
that's awesome. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna ask because that's I never heard no one say they do that. Have you ever looked back at your notebook and like the fuck was I thinking? What the or or like, wow, this is really good one.
All the time. No, there are I have like 7 or 8 notebooks in my bookshelf of just old lyrics, and especially from like past bands, because I have different like whenever I join up a new band as like a singer or something, I'll get a new notebook and I'll dedicate that notebook to that band. So like I'll go through and like look at my old lyrics and I'm like, what? What the hell? What was I thinking? Like, yeah, no. And there are some times that I'm like, oh, that one wasn't bad. Like, but most of the time I'm like, I guess it shows growth, because I'm just like, why did I what? And um, but there are a few nuggets in there that I'm like, I should see if I can reuse that. I don't like to recycle my lyrics very much, but every now and again I'll like pick little pieces out. Like if the song failed, I'll like pick pieces out and use them in future songs. But because I'm like, okay, I like that line, that'll work over here. But yeah, it's yeah, it I can definitely, I feel like I've gotten better as a songwriter throughout the years, because I look at my past work all the time and I'm just like, why am I torturing myself right now? This is terrible.
Anyway, that is actually a really cool like concept and way that you do like to make music. Like that is pretty cool. And I've never heard no one do that. So hey, look, got something right there. Hey, maybe you should call your obviously your peeps, Lord, or your fans, and call them the originals, because that's an original idea right there, man.
The originals.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
Hey, there we go.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
The originals. I'm gonna throw in the video too, with just like coming at you. So Zach, what was it like, or that moment was like, when you heard your song "Empty Your Eyes" play on Rock 108? That had to be pretty exciting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I always love being able to hear my stuff on Rock 108. That's for anybody listening, for his peeps listening in, that's the local rock radio station in my area in eastern Iowa. But pardon me. Stupid cold, man. I'm just getting over it. But I it's not the first time I've ever had stuff played on that station. With my previous band, we had stuff played on there every now and again, because they have like a local music show. But it still makes me super happy every time I hear it, because I know I'm not the only one listening. And because being a songwriter, it's like I'm so used to just listening to my own stuff in my room or my office or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, I wonder if I honestly wonder if this is going to stick with anybody. And then like the radio station's like, yeah, this is pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and play this on our show. And then so it's like, oh, okay, so other people are actually paying attention to my music. Cool. Like, oh my god, I hope that they like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me super happy every single time. Plus, to be able to be played amongst so many other super talented artists in the Midwest, in particular, it's an honor every single time, because like several of the bands that get played, like I'm friends with a lot of them, and so it's like, hey, I'm on the list with my friends, yay.
That's so cool. And shout out to them, to Rock 108. Because that's pretty awesome, and especially building friendships with them too.
Yeah.
Because man, your music is really good, Zach, and I'm super, super proud of you, man. Like, was blown away. And I was looking at that you're on TikTok as well, so I was seeing your videos. I think I liked it this morning. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
It's really cool, man. I'm so proud of you, and that you're pursuing music, and sky's the limit. So for all my peeps and new audience that's going to be watching this, where can they find you on all your social media platforms? And I'm sure put in the video in the description.
Awesome. So yep. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is it's Zachary Daniels Music, and Zachary Daniels spelled like the name but plural, music. And then Instagram is Zachary Daniels Iowa. For some reason, Zachary Daniels music was taken, even though when I looked it up, I couldn't find a profile. So it was like, okay, Instagram,
Oh
whatever.
my gosh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I literally just like I had an interview last night with this band, shout out to them, Slanders, and they said the same thing, and the same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't know like what's going on with TikTok or Instagram. Like if
Yeah.
anybody from there is watching or will see this one day, like what the hell? Like we messing with our passions. Like we had to change and tweak it a little.
I know it's dumb, but I'm like, all right, I guess I'll put it, so it's Zachary Daniels, Iowa, because I am a born and raised Iowan. But then I'm also on TikTok. You can look me up under Zachary Daniels because that's what my display name is. But I am like working off of adjusting from I basically am turning my personal profile into like my business profile, like for my music. Because I was already just kind of messing around playing music anyway. So I was like, all right, fair enough. Let's just change it. Mm-hmm. And so my name on there is Blankenshed. I'm working on changing it, but for right now it's Blankenshed. So blank EN shed. But you can always just look up Zachary Daniels and my name should show up because I have my display name as that. So I should show up. Just look for the beard.
Look for the beard. Oh, I love that, man. Each put that on a t-shirt. I love that, man. Look for the beard.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Keep It a Secret to come out September 2nd. September's a big month for both of us. Yeah, September 2nd will be your debut for your EP. September 26th will be the 2-year anniversary of the People's Choice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So Zach, I want to ask you this because I believe I asked you this last time you was on the show 8 months ago, and I just wonder, life happens, things happen, and maybe this question answer might get changed. So, what is your favorite quote that you lean on during the good times or even the bad times, or saying?
Yeah. So I believe I don't believe my answer has changed since the last time I was on this show. But it's a quote that was actually it's a favorite of I don't know if it's like a quote by a famous person or whatever. I just know that one of my former bosses and still current friends says it all the time especially in times of trouble, is just forward march. Life happens, troubles happen, good times happen, but ultimately, like it's stronger. It's a stronger quote in trouble times rather than good ones. But when stuff falls apart, you just got to keep moving forward and get your shit done. And so it's just basically just, hey, forward march. We're gonna get stuff done. We're gonna make it happen. We're not gonna let life get us down.
And I need to hear that a couple months ago. So all my peeps that's listening to that, please share this, send this to someone who need to hear that. More. Say that again one more time. Forward march.
Forward march. Yep.
Love that, man.
Just a bucket's worth of meaning in 2 words.
Yeah, love it. So, Zach, thank you for being part of the show. I just got one more question that I've been really driving home with all my guests lately is gratitude, because gratitude is a big thing for me, especially the way the pandemic affected a lot of people. And now we got this freaking monkeypox stuff that's coming out and all this other stuff that's crazy on the world. So what are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life?
And gratitude is a very strong thing for sure. I completely agree with you, man. I would say, so I'm grateful for my family, especially my mother, for, just giving me the tools, my mother and my father for giving me the tools to do things with my life and for teaching me right from wrong. And I'm also thankful for my friends, for just showing me love and being able to be someone to lean on when times are tough, and also just to show me that we're not alone in this world. And then but I think especially lately, I am grateful for my fiance. I got engaged a couple months ago, so
Congrats, man.
thanks. And but I'm very grateful for her, for being my rock, and for just being my partner in all things, and just really, like, my friends also do it, but she really drives it home that, it's just like, you're not alone in your troubles, and you're not alone in the good times and the bad. And, just that anytime and she believes in me and my music, and it just, she was one of the biggest people. And when I was like, I think I want to get back into music, and she's like, I'm right behind you 100%. So let's, whatever you need me to help with, I will do it. And so she's been a huge cheerleader for me in this. And it's been a blessing. So
Big blessing, and
yeah.
shout out to all of them, and definitely that was, and just that touched me a lot, man. It's nothing more important than having that person you can just lean back, be like, yep, they're there, I know they're there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
And congrats on getting engaged, and
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to hear you guys getting married, and love to see the pictures and everything. I mean, that's truly awesome. And Zach, thank you for being a part of the show again. I mean, I've always had a blast talking with you, no matter if it's off camera or the first time or this time. Any last thing you want to say, or to my peeps, or shout out or plug anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, just keep your eyes open on for Keep It a Secret, coming out on all major platforms September 2nd. So Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. But you can listen to my single Empty Eyes, which is out on Bandcamp right now. So it's zacharydaniels.bandcamp.com. You can listen to it. And I also just want to give a major shout out to my team of musicians that my friends that helped me make this EP. I have some super talented friends who I hired to be my instruments, to help get all this stuff put together. And if it wasn't for them, this wouldn't be, and I couldn't have this, and at least it wouldn't sound as good as it does anyway. So my good buddy Michael Duty, who plays keyboards and saxophone on the single. The other songs don't have saxophone, but he plays keyboards. He's a kick-ass instrumentalist. He does a lot of synth stuff on his own, so check him out. Jesse Hannawalt, who plays guitar, electric guitar, and Josh Balk, who plays drums, and Patrick Simon Jr., who plays bass and also mixed the whole thing for me, without even me having to really ask him to. So that was really nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, because he's just like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, okay, thank you. And obviously I paid him for his troubles, but the big shout out to them. They're some of my best friends, especially in the music world and otherwise. And I love them to bits. So
awesome. A big shout out to all you guys. Thank you for helping Zach pursue his dream and follow his dream. And September 2nd, all my peeps and new audience, make sure you look out for Zach's new EP. And thank you for being a part of the People's Choice podcast, Zach. We wish you much love, support. Can't wait for it to come out. I'm supporting and sharing it all over the place. So, Zach.
much appreciated, Alvin. Much love. I'm more than happy to be back. I appreciate you having me, and I always have a great time chatting with you as well. So this has been fun.
Definitely. September 2nd, y'all. Make sure you tune in.